Yeah, I think stuff to do with family overwhelms me quite a bit. You know, worry or stress around family side of things, that does overwhelm me quite a bit. But in terms of, you know, doing the job and things like that, I don't feel too overwhelmed by that.
Prince William has finally done the one thing Prince Harry reportedly begged him never to do. After decades of rumors, denials, and palace cover-ups, the future king has allegedly revealed DNA results that cut straight through one of the royal family's darkest secrets. What uncomfortable truths were revealed in that envelope that left Harry unsettled? And what hidden secret from 1984 involves a mother's infidelity, a bodyguard's admission, and a tabloid's illicitly obtained strand of hair? Join us as we explore what Prince William has finally confirmed and why it has left Prince Harry stunned. The rumor that refused to die. For nearly 40 years, a single rumor has followed Prince Harry around like a bad smell that just won't quit. This nonsense kicked off in the late 80s, picked up speed in the 90s, and by the time Harry was a teenager, it was basically the internet's favorite conspiracy theory. The idea was simple enough to fit on a tabloid cover. People claimed Harry wasn't actually the son of King Charles. Instead, the story went that he was the secret kid of James Hewitt, a British cavalry officer who was sleeping with Princess Diana. Every single year, like clockwork, this theory crawls back out of the gutter to annoy everyone all over again. The ginger hair, the soft facial features, the riding obsession. Tabloids picked apart every photograph as if they were forensic investigators, building a case the palace refused to dignify. Even Harry himself could not escape it. In his 2023 memoir Spare, he revealed that his own father, King Charles, once made a bitterly distasteful joke about not being his real father, saying something to the effect of, "Who knows if I am really the Prince of Wales?" Harry wrote that the rumor touched nearly every biography and every long profile written about him. According to a 2025 look at his memoir in Hello magazine, Harry mentioned that if his dad actually had opinions about Major Hewitt, he stayed completely quiet about them. Apparently, that wall of silence felt way worse than just having a screaming match. The palace usually shuts up when something is true and they can't spin it, so Harry just sat there in the quiet. Growing up in that environment sounds like a total mental nightmare designed to drive someone toward a breaking point. Hewitt himself denied everything. He insisted publicly and repeatedly that he only began his affair with Diana in 1986, 2 full years after Harry was born, in September 1984. Time machines, he reportedly joked, do not exist. Diana's former bodyguard, Ken Worf, confirmed the same timeline in his 2002 book, insisting the red hair was a Spencer family trait, not a Hewitt one. But the public never stopped wondering, because in the royal family, denials are not proof. They are just more silence. Adding to the confusion, American author Christopher Anderson released a book in 2007 marking the 10th anniversary of Diana's death, in which he allegedly suggested that Harry himself had at one point quietly asked for a DNA paternity test to settle the matter. The claim was never verified, but it reportedly fed a decade of further speculation. Meanwhile, British tabloids continued running side-by-side photographs of Harry and Hewitt almost every single year, usually on slow news weeks, making it nearly impossible for Harry to escape the comparison. He reportedly grew up seeing his own face next to another man's in grocery store checkouts. But if the rumors were already hurting Harry, what happened next was even more shocking. Did the obsession with his father's identity go so far that someone tried to secretly steal the truth? The honey trap plot that almost exposed everything. What most fans do not know is that Prince Harry's DNA was almost stolen in 2002. It was almost stolen by what British newspapers later described as an elaborate honey trap plot allegedly orchestrated by a now-defunct Sunday tabloid. The scheme was reportedly simple and chilling. A young woman would flirt with the 18-year-old prince, get close enough to pluck a single strand of his hair, and hand it over to be DNA tested against a sample of James Hewitt. The results, if they confirmed the rumor, would allegedly have been the biggest royal scandal in a century. A 2025 deep dive by Royal Insider says the whole scheme fell apart only because Sir Michael Peat, the private secretary for Charles, got a tip-off letter that laid out the entire plan. He didn't waste time and handed it straight to the cops. Both Charles and Harry, who was finishing up at Eton back then, supposedly got the heads up about what was happening. St. James's Palace did their usual move and said absolutely nothing to the public. Even the News of the World, the tabloid that supposedly cooked up the plot, wouldn't say a word. But by that point, the mess was already made and couldn't be cleaned up. Harry himself spoke about this plot in June 2023, becoming the first senior royal to give evidence in open court in over 130 years. In his witness statement against Mirror Group newspapers, he called the whole affair cruel. He said that at 18 years old, having lost his mother just 6 years earlier, stories about his paternity felt deeply damaging and very real. He questioned whether newspapers were trying to put doubt into the public's mind so that he might be ousted from the royal family entirely. But the story did not end there. According to royal biographer Penny Junor, reported by the Daily Beast, the News of the World allegedly did eventually manage to obtain a strand of Harry's hair in February 2003, and they DNA tested it. The supposed result came back negative. Harry was not Hewitt's son. But here is where the story takes its darkest turn. Those results were never publicly released. They were allegedly buried. And for over 2 decades, nobody outside the tabloid and palace inner circle was supposed to know they existed at all. Penny reportedly wrote in her book that if Harry had been shown to be James Hewitt's son, the entire world would have known within hours. The fact that nothing was ever published, she argued, was itself the clearest proof the test had come back negative. But that rationale, allegedly, was not enough for the public, because the tabloid never formally confirmed the test had happened at all. So for over 20 years, the rumor continued to circulate, feeding conspiracy videos, Reddit forums, and viral AI-generated clips that Snopes has repeatedly debunked as fake. One such fake video in late 2025 allegedly claimed that Harry had taken a DNA test and that King Charles was not his father. Snopes confirmed the video was entirely AI-generated, pointing out that the fake Harry in the clip even had the wrong eye color, which raises one question every royal fan is now asking. If the test really came back negative in 2003, why has William, in 2026, allegedly revealed new results at all? The secret meeting that changed everything. In late 2025, after nearly 3 years of silence between the brothers, something allegedly shifted. Prince William, who had reportedly not spoken to Prince Harry since 2022, quietly agreed to meet him again. The condition was strict, meaning that the meeting had to be private. Just the two of them, face to face, for the first time since the 2022 funeral of their grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. According to Yahoo's reporting in October 2025, William's terms were brutally specific. Sources close to the future king said he was terrified of being secretly recorded or having his words twisted into a new memoir or Netflix documentary. He reportedly told a friend, "If Harry wants to talk, it has to stay completely private. No recordings, no pictures, no version of events spun for publicity." The brothers had allegedly not been in a room together, without cameras, in almost 3.5 years. Fans started guessing this was some big reunion, a peace offering, a Christmas miracle or whatever. But people close to the palace say something totally different. They claim the meeting wasn't about making up at all. It was a straight-up confrontation. William has spent years watching Harry spill family drama on Oprah, Netflix, and in his book. Apparently, he had one specific point to make. And from what people are saying, he showed up with the receipts to back it up. What William allegedly brought to that meeting has become the stuff of tabloid legend. Royal insiders quoted by multiple British outlets claim the Prince of Wales arrived with a sealed envelope. Inside, they allege, were the results of a quiet genetic test, reportedly commissioned years earlier through channels only the most senior members of the royal household could access. William did not come to hug his brother. He came, allegedly, to finally end the rumor, one way or the other. Royal commentator Ian Pelham Turner reportedly told The Mirror that King Charles's cancer diagnosis has accelerated nearly every delicate conversation inside the palace, including the one about Harry's paternity. The king, allegedly, wanted all inherited family uncertainty resolved before his reign drew to a close. That reportedly placed enormous pressure on William to finally address the topic directly with his brother. Kate Middleton, according to one insider, has been quietly encouraging William to bridge the gap for months, noticing how much the feud has emotionally drained him. Even Charles himself allegedly pushed for the confrontation to happen, but if palace talks were already becoming urgent, the next moment was said to change everything between the brothers. What could William have shown Harry that left him completely speechless? What William allegedly revealed inside the envelope. According to the alleged leak that sent royal Twitter into meltdown, the envelope William handed Harry contained something far more complicated than a simple yes or no. It was not, insiders reportedly claim, a clean confirmation that King Charles was or was not Harry's biological father. It was said to be layered, contextual, and devastating in a completely different way. What William allegedly revealed was not that Harry was illegitimate. It was that the palace had, for nearly 4 decades, allegedly allowed the public rumor to persist because fighting it was harder than ignoring it. Basically, if people believe the unverified leak, the DNA test results finally backed up what the Spencers have been shouting for years. Harry is 100% the biological son of King Charles. That red hair is just a Spencer thing, passed down through Diana's side and obvious in photos of her brothers and uncles for ages. The results came back clear. Paternity was settled. The rumor was dead. But the way William supposedly handed over that info is what reportedly rattled Harry the most. Sources claim William told his younger brother that this proof had been quietly held inside palace files since the early 2000s. He allegedly said that senior royal advisors, including the late Queen, had seen the results. And he allegedly told Harry that the decision to never publicly address the rumor was made above all of them, to protect the monarchy's image during a period when it could not survive another scandal. Harry, who spent his entire adolescence enduring what he once called cruel speculation, reportedly sat frozen as the implication hit him. The family had the truth for years, and nobody told him. According to the leak, it was not the test result that actually crushed Harry in that room. He supposedly knew the truth deep down anyway. The real blow was realizing his family let him look like a fool in public while they sat on the answers the whole time. People following the drama online called it one of the nastiest betrayals to ever come out of the palace. Critics are obviously pointing out that nobody has actually seen a real document yet. But that didn't stop the story from blowing up everywhere instantly. Adding fuel to the fire, royal commentators began digging into old photographs. Side-by-side comparisons of Harry and his paternal grandfather, the late Prince Philip, reportedly went viral on royal social media forums almost overnight. Commenters pointed out that Harry's jawline, his cheekbones, and his posture bear striking resemblance to Philip in his younger years. Prince Philip, according to royal experts, had a pale reddish tone to his hair in his youth before it grayed, a detail tabloids conveniently ignored for decades. Critics of the original Hewitt rumor reportedly said this evidence had always been hiding in plain sight, and that the palace had simply failed to use it in any organized defense. Also, feeding the online frenzy was Harry's own 2023 court testimony, in which he allegedly questioned whether tabloids had deliberately tried to make him doubt his own identity so that he might be ousted from the royal line of succession. If the alleged 2026 DNA revelation is real, it reportedly confirms Harry's worst suspicion, that the rumor was never about biology at all. It was about leverage, a tool the tabloids used to keep Harry off balance, keep Diana's name circulating, and keep the palace on the defensive for 4 straight decades. But once the truth was allegedly revealed, a far bigger question quickly followed. If William had the answer for years, why did he wait so long to tell Harry? Why William waited so long to tell him? If those DNA results were tucked away in some palace drawer since the early 2000s, there is no good reason for the delay until 2026. This info could have been handed over way before the book, the Oprah interview, or the Netflix mess. It could have happened before the total silence between the brothers started. That specific timeline is what makes the situation so brutal. According to royal insiders, the reason for waiting is about as ugly as it gets. According to IB Times UK's April 2026 coverage of the feud, royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams said William regards his brother as totally untrustworthy. Another royal expert, Helena Chard, called William's silence a deliberate strategy, not an avoidance of the issue. She said, "Loyalty cuts both ways, and betrayal has a long shelf life." William, she argued, is known to take a harder line than anyone inside the palace. He does not forget who damaged the institution, and he does not forget who went silent when they should have spoken up. The implication, allegedly, is that William held the DNA information as leverage. Not weaponized, not malicious, but strategic. Sources claim he kept it quiet because he did not trust his brother with something so explosive. He reportedly feared Harry would turn the truth into another Netflix episode, another memoir chapter, another headline for Meghan's podcast. So William, allegedly, waited. He waited until Harry was begging for reconciliation. He waited until Harry had no leverage left of his own. And then, reportedly, he revealed the results on his own terms, behind closed doors, with no cameras, no publicity, and no way for Harry to spin it. Critics say that is not leadership, that is control. But William's defenders argue the opposite. They say holding the truth until he could deliver it safely is exactly what a future monarch is supposed to do. Royal expert Hilary Fordwich told Fox News Digital that what people call ruthlessness is in fact strong, admirable leadership based on loyalty and dedication to duty. The royal family, she said, simply does not trust Harry and Meghan. And until that trust is repaired, nothing sensitive leaves the palace walls. Royal expert Roya Nika reportedly put it even more bluntly in a separate interview, saying William tends to hold grudges against those who have wronged him and is known to take sides. If someone picks the other side, she said, William remembers. That description, fans say, fits almost everything about how the alleged DNA reveal played out. William did not forgive Harry. He did not forget what Harry wrote in Spare. He did not pretend the Netflix series never existed. Instead, he allegedly gathered the one piece of information Harry needed most, and he made his brother come to him on his terms to receive it. That is, reportedly, the clearest picture yet of the kind of King William intends to be. But what happened next is what really left Harry unable to speak. The part about their mother. Buried inside the alleged revelation, according to the leak that spread across royal forums in early 2026, was a second piece of information that struck Harry even harder than the DNA itself. It was about Princess Diana, and about what William allegedly learned, years ago, that Harry never knew. Diana, the story goes, had been asked about the paternity rumors during the last years of her life, and what she reportedly said, privately, is said to have left both brothers in tears. According to the alleged account, Diana reportedly confided to a small circle of trusted friends in the mid-90s that the rumors about Hewitt had deeply wounded her. She insisted, reportedly with visible pain, that Harry was Charles's son, that the affair with Hewitt began years after Harry was born, and that the public obsession with the rumor was one of the cruelest things she had ever endured. William, allegedly, had known this story for years. Harry, according to the leak, had not. The 2023 book makes the wild claim that nobody realized until 2014 that the Hewitt affair didn't even start until after the birth. It is pretty insane to think about. For 3 decades, a rumor that was physically impossible based on a calendar was allowed to just hang there. Not one person in that family bothered to sit down and explain how time works. The opportunity to kill the story was always there, but for some reason, the silence was more important. This is like having a family so committed to never complain, never explain, that they let a man wonder if his dad is actually his dad for 30 years. That is a level of commitment to awkwardness that most people can't even fathom. When the DNA envelope hit the table, the rumor was not what allegedly broke Harry. It was the accompanying information about Diana. Fans who followed the story online called it a generational betrayal. A mother who allegedly begged for the truth to be told. A son who was allegedly left in the dark for decades. And a brother who, according to the leak, finally said the words only when it suited him. The symmetry was devastating. Because the one person who could have settled the rumor in the 1990s was no longer alive to do it. Diana's biographer, Andrew Morton, who famously recorded her private tapes in the early 1990s, has said publicly over the years that Diana was deeply protective of her sons and had always been clear privately about who their father was. The tragedy, allegedly, is that none of her private recordings ever addressed the Hewitt rumor in a form the palace could release. Instead, her voice was filtered through biographers, bodyguards, and friends. William, who reportedly spent years quietly collecting these private accounts, allegedly had access to versions of Diana's own words that Harry had never seen. And when he laid them out in that meeting, Harry is said to have finally understood how isolated he had been from his mother's truth. And Harry, reportedly, could not stop thinking about what she might say if she had lived to see this moment. What this means for the monarchy now. The question royal watchers are now asking is simple. What does any of this mean for the future of the British monarchy? Because the alleged leak, whether true, partially true, or completely fabricated, has done something no official statement ever could. It has dragged the paternity rumor back into the global conversation at the exact moment the royal family is allegedly trying to move past it. And it has placed William, the future king, at the center of a story he reportedly wanted buried. According to reporting from Hola in April 2026, Harry and King Charles have made almost no real progress since their brief meeting at Clarence House in September 2025. Charles's planned April 2026 visit to the United States came and went with no private reunion. Royal insiders told us weekly there are no plans, and reconciliation is no longer a priority. That stagnation, critics say, may be partly because of what William allegedly revealed. Because once a sealed family secret is spoken aloud, even inside a private room, it cannot be put back. The supposed news triggered a massive mess of emotions. There was relief, because the rumor that followed every move for decades was finally over. Then came the anger, since the answer was apparently sitting in a palace file for years. Finally, there was the grief that this confirmation showed up way too late for his mother to ever see the end of it. People close to the situation say the change was immediate. The flight back to Montecito was quiet, and the general feeling is that while the truth finally came out, it showed up far too late to actually fix anything. For William, the alleged revelation has also changed something. Royal insiders quoted by IB Times UK in 2026 called the current state of the feud a permanent royal reset. William is reportedly no longer even pretending to want reconciliation. He has allegedly drawn a firm line between the brothers' futures. He is said to be consolidating his identity as the next king and shutting the door on the drama that has defined the rift for years. Whether the DNA revelation is real or imagined, it has become, reportedly, a symbol of that shift. A moment where William chose the institution over the brother. And for the public, the alleged revelation is a reminder that in the royal family, truth is never simply truth. It is timing. It is leverage. It is power. The question is no longer whether Harry is Charles's biological son. The question is why the confirmation, if it ever existed, was held for so long, revealed so quietly, and leaked at precisely the moment William's allies needed it to be heard. Some royal historians argue that this is exactly how the monarchy has always operated. Truth inside the palace is never freely shared. It is managed, rationed, and released only when it serves the institution. From the abdication of Edward VIII to the secrets buried around Prince Andrew's associations to the long-running whispers about Camilla during Charles's first marriage, the royal family has allegedly always traded silence for stability. Harry, critics say, was born into a family that treats the truth as a liability. William, allegedly, has simply inherited the system his grandmother and great-grandmother built before him. What makes this moment different, royal watchers argue, is that Harry has spent the last 5 years trying to tear that system down. He has told his truth in Spare. He has told it on Oprah. He has told it on Netflix. And yet, ironically, the one truth he allegedly needed most was something only his brother could give him. And William reportedly gave it on his terms, in his timing, behind his closed door. Which means, in the end, the future king has allegedly won the war. Harry did not even realize they were still fighting. So after decades of rumors, stolen hair samples, and palace silence, do you think Prince William finally ended the oldest royal conspiracy or just opened a deeper wound? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more royal deep dives. And click the next video on your screen. You'll love it.